To the InfoComm International Press Conference at ISE. I'm Betsy Jaffe, the Vice President of Communications for InfoComm International. We do have a press kit available for this press conference online at infocom.org/ISE press kit. There's also QR codes and cards available in the press room where you could download your fresh copy. It's got all the information that we're going over today as well as some of our recent news. So I want to introduce who we have today. With you today is David Labuskes, Executive Director and CEO of InfoComm International. We have Terry Friesenberg, Senior Vice President of International Development for InfoComm. We have Duffy Wilbert, Senior Vice President of Member Services for InfoComm. And then we have Alan Weidman, InfoComm Sustainability Officer. And we have a special guest from the RAI, Babs Neidham, who is going to talk a little bit about RAI sustainability. And then we have John Fuchs, our Senior Vice President for IQ, who will be talking about the latest on the project cost estimator that's being done by AVIQ. So I'm going to turn this over to Dave Labuskes, who's going to go over what InfoComm's overall plans are for the next couple of years.
Thanks, Betsy. Afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you all for your assistance with our audiovisual. I want to spend a little bit of time with you talking about InfoComm. Obviously, you're here experiencing ISE, our show that we do in partnership with CEDIA, and we're very, very excited about the show. It's hard not to be as soon as you walk through the doors here, or even before you walk through the doors. And I know that that's the driver for bringing most of you here, but I think that it's important to also emphasize for you the associations and the association's representation of the industry that stand behind the show. And part of the core and the soul of the soul and why we're here, in addition to seeing the latest offerings of the exhibitors, also to continue to build and define and grow our own association and industry as a part of the show. So if for those of you in the room that don't know who InfoComm is, we are the trade association, global trade association for the professional audiovisual industry. And as with most organizations, we've spent some time over the years really trying to focus on what our core purpose is. Why do we exist as an association? And what I want to spend today talking to you about is not only what we exist for and why we are here and what our vision is, but also a strategic plan that was ratified by our board of directors in June of last year that will guide us at a strategic level for the coming 3 years and run through for you what we think is important as the industry association. The mission obviously is to advance the audiovisual communications globally. And that's a broad mission. Every one of those words could be dissected and examined and looked at as to what is advanced and what is the audiovisual industry. Obviously, the audiovisual industry today in 2014 is a little different than the audiovisual industry in 1939 when Duffy formulated the association. The background of the association was that we established in 1939, which makes this a very exciting year for us. It's our 75th anniversary. The key aspect of that isn't that it's 75 years. It's not about patting ourselves on the back. It's, I think, taking a look at the fact that the association is an association of people that are committed towards making it easier for people to communicate with each other. It's not an association that is focused on selling film strip projectors to educators or movie cameras to the U.S. Army or the military during World War II. It's an industry that's focused on transforming human communication. And that need for transforming human communication is likely to be timeless. And it certainly continues to be all the more important as the world's become more connected and workforces have become more distributed and expertise has become more in need and scattered. The ability for organizations to connect the experts that they have within their organizations from around the world to be able to be brought to bear to solve the problems of their clients or heal their patients or teach their students is what audiovisual is all about. And that's the part that we think is most important for us to serve as the association for the industry. Since that time, we've grown to about 5,000 members. I'm going to talk about a bunch of different numbers, none of which are the numbers I'm sure you all want to hear. But we have a wide breadth of membership. I think that's part of what makes InfoComm unique for the industry, is that our membership really is made up of an entire tapestry of the supply chain, the value chain, if you will, of audiovisual technology, from the manufacturers through the distributors, the dealers, the integrators, the consultants, and the end users. And you can see here the breakdown of the membership. And there's not a significant majority of any of those. And I think that's part of our strength. It certainly is part of our challenges, in that we want to ensure that we're relevant. We create programs, we provide education, we develop certification that's meaningful across the entire breadth of the industry, but it also is that which gives us the opportunity and brings us all together and has an opportunity for the various different segments of this value chain to be able to share with each other. And again, the shows are the physical place that we can do that. We're worldwide. We, in addition to this show, and I'll talk more about some of the specifics, we sponsor networking opportunities, business opportunities, educational opportunities everywhere in the world at this point, on every continent except Antarctica. And penguins don't seem to be focused a lot on unified communications yet, so we're safe there. But other than that, we have presence and continue to grow our membership outside of North America and our show offerings. And I know that we'll share more details about that with you over the time frame we're here together. I mentioned education. I think that one of the challenges our industry faces today is, are we an industry? Are we a subset of the IT industry? Are we being absorbed? Are we? I am amazed that I still have questions about whether or not there is going to be any type of convergence between AV and IT. At the foundation of that is the fact that there is an expertise that belongs to AV professionals, and InfoComm has taken upon themselves and built an extraordinary organizational structure to develop education, to help to develop that expertise and spread that expertise, and to ensure that those who are working within the industry can do it at the very highest level. And that may sound as a simple project, is let's get somebody to teach something that they know to somebody that doesn't know it. But as many of you may have noticed, there's a few opinions in our industry about lots of different things. And our job as an association is to capture all of those opinions, capture all of that expertise, and develop something that ends up being a best practice, something that can be taught for all people to learn, and can be taught not as Dave's opinion, but as the industry's best knowledge to be able to train the people that are coming in and continuing to offer our services. So we focus a lot on our education. And one of the things we find it's very heartening after that effort is the fact that it's successful. Over 96% of the people that we interview after they take one of our courses identifies the fact that the course helped them in their job, which is really what we're here for. We're not here to provide a liberal arts education, but to provide expertise that can be translated into job skills, to job value, to success for your organization or your client's organization, depending on where you are within that membership tapestry. Any given day, at any time, we have over 3,000 registrations active within our online course directory, and that program continues to grow on an ongoing basis. The breadth of our program, you can find information about this also on our webpage at infocomm.org. Covers everything from very introductory skills through AV mathematics to very detailed technical training on high-level concepts that are required in order to be successful. We have a full installer program, a full design program. So how do you then share with people that you have this expertise? We offer a certification program, which includes 3 certifications, the CTS, CTS-D, and then I. CTS being the initial certification, and then the D standing for design specialization, the I standing for an installation specialization. These certifications are the tool by which professionals can communicate to their clients, to their employers, their organization, that they've invested in themselves and that they have developed the skills and developed the knowledge that's required in order to be able to do a good job. And at the end of the day, that's what we want to make sure is happening, is that we're providing quality solutions. Our professionals are providing quality to their clients or to their employers. The other thing I want to highlight about this certification, which is important for us, is that it is ANSI ISO accredited certification. And that's a challenge to maintain. But what it also says is that this is a certification that goes through the rigors of an industry consensus. Every 6 months, we refresh the testing on these certifications in order to maintain their currency with regards to the technologies that are out there and being utilized. So that somebody that's certified and became certified 10 years ago has had to demonstrate a skill set that's different than somebody that's testing today for their CTS. The process by which we go through in order to get to those levels of questions is extraordinarily rigorous, requires adherence to this ANSI-ISO standard that results in annual audits by them, hundreds and hundreds of pages of information that we file in order to ensure that, again, it's not a group of 2 or 3 people sitting in a room that decide, hey, somebody should know this. It's tested, it's evaluated, it's formulated, and then we use a very detailed and statistically demanding mechanism to ensure that the questions are all valid and that the appropriate students are in fact answering the questions and that the appropriate score for passing is determined based on the hardship of the test. As you can imagine, that these tests are accumulated and questions aren't the same for all of the people that they examine, and it becomes something that anybody that has these certifications anywhere in the world can rely on the credibility of the testing and the credential to be able to demonstrate that they have expertise that we communicate through the CTS. There's over 9,300 people and continues to grow. In fact, we're testing today and here at the show for people to be able to take and obtain these certifications. Again, you're starting to see the trend that I wanted to talk about with regards to education and then certification. Another part of what's important is for all of us as an industry to be able to define what is good, what is acceptable, what is the appropriate behavior, how do we deliver a system, how do we know whether or not a system is good or bad, and we do that through the development of standards. Again, these are industry consensus standard processes that involve hundreds of people participating in the development of the standard and then comments on the standard and the accumulation of those standards to get to the point where we can publish something that says this is what the contrast ratio should be. This is the way that you should document a project as you're doing design. Or this is how you verify the system's performance on an installation with our most recent standard that was published in December of last year, which is the Audiovisual Systems Performance Verification Checklist. We're very excited about that. That's the first time we've had a standard in the industry that has been vetted at a global level that allows somebody to sit down with their customer, whether their customer is a professor, if they're a technology manager for a higher education facility, or if their customer is a corporate facility and they're a consultant or an integrator, and actually work through a standard process that says, here's what we're going to deliver you. Is this what you expect? The client then can come back and say, yes, this is what I expect. And then by following this standard, at the end of the project, the service provider can confirm that the client got what they asked for. And we know that in this industry that's so subjective that having those types of tools are absolutely critical in order to protect the quality of the industry. And quality is what's going to keep the industry relevant. It's going to be what keeps us as an industry. So that's another key aspect of our association. In addition to standards, we work on industry innovations. I like to think of this as our R&D or our Skunk Works group. It's a group of people that tend to work on very finite task forces that are identified with scopes of work and schedules that are 1 year. And in that 1 year, they'll bring together subject matter experts and they'll explore issues that the industry needs to explore. The output of some of those types of things are work that we've done with regards to BIM, work that we've done with regards to drawing symbols, work that we've done with regards to AV and court systems that we recently published in conjunction with the American Institute of Architects. So this Industry Innovations Group is the group that's out there for you looking at what the forward opportunities are for the industry. I mentioned networking. We do roundtables, we do webinars, we do over 100 of these around the world every year where we bring people together in small venues, somewhere in the neighborhood of sometimes 25 to 50 to 75 members, to simply share information. We're doing webinars, over 50 webinars this year, so nearly one a week, that are broadcast around the world. We have enormous participation in that. This is opportunities for very just-in-time, very directed, very focused training, very focused networking opportunities. We always have education and training at the roundtables, and then the primary purpose for those roundtables is an opportunity for members just to get together. It's just a networking and sharing and reconnection for our membership. Market research is another area that we're involved in. We are investing heavily in market research as we go. I think some of the greatest value that we provide to our exhibitors is the market research that we do. As you know, our industry is not a widely public industry. A significant amount of our industry is privately owned. Getting information for people that are participating within that industry and then aggregating that information and sharing market trends, market information, economic snapshots, the influence of the industry, the size of the industry. Those types of pieces of information are very valuable for people to make decisions about their business models. What are their strategies? Where are the greatest opportunities? Where is the growth? How much growth is anticipated in India over the next couple of years? Those are the types of reports that we create and that we publish and that are widely accepted. Through all of this, thought leadership as well. We maintain a continual voice within the community, providing ideas, providing at times controversial and discussion-provoking topics for people to talk about, all leading again towards the elevation of the industry and ensuring that the industry is out there and recognized as an expertise, recognized as a specialty, and recognized as a profession. Our shows, we have over 120,000 people attend our shows. In 2014, we'll do 11 shows, scattered, as I mentioned, all around the world. Our newest show will be in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in May of this year. Our next show after this one is Beijing, and you can see all of the shows. We have 3 shows in Latin America: Beijing, Australia, India, Dubai, Moscow, Amsterdam, and this year, of course, we'll also be in Vegas in North America, which is June 14th through 20th of this year. I can't imagine that's the first time anybody in this room has heard about our show in North America. So that's a snapshot of who InfoComm is. So let me tell you what we're looking towards for the coming years and give you a little bit of an overview of the strategic plan that we developed. This is timeless. This isn't new. These are our core values. And as Betsy mentioned, there's a press kit available for you to download this, so I won't read them to you. But I think that it's important for all of us as members of the association or participants in the association to focus on these areas. Everything from providing transformational leadership as an industry to ensuring that we as an association maintain our financial stability, focus on environmental sustainability, and look towards embracing diversity, just to pick a few of these values that I think are timeless, that we've committed to as an association and that our board has reaffirmed as part of the strategic plan moving forward. This vision statement, those of you that have been involved in a strategy, I think understand that you put a group of people in a room and you look at what is the vision, what is the reason that we're here beyond advancing the audiovisual industry globally. How does that translate to something that can be a guide to action? How does that translate to something that can help us decide what we want to do? And I'm very proud of this statement, and this is a statement that focused on InfoComm International and the community and providing leadership and on exceptional experiences and on transforming human communication. You see at the very end it says with technology, and we did that because we think it's important that we keep our tether there, that we understand that the tool that we use, what makes us an industry, is the fact that we're helping to accomplish these goals, that we're hoping and aspiring to achieve this vision, but achieve that vision with the use of technology. There's other key words in here. I'll highlight some of them as we go through more of the presentation, but I think I want to really emphasize here with you the importance of the transforming of human communication. Again, the focus that you're going to hear me talk about again and again and again, if you haven't already, in which case I apologize, about the fact that we're not an industry that's about technology. We're an industry about transforming human communication. And transforming human communication requires an exceptional experience. Once somebody's had, I just heard this on the radio the other day, once somebody's had good, they want it, right? Once somebody's had exceptional, they want it. And once we've delivered that exceptional, they'll keep coming back to us. For years, our industry has talked about the challenge of commoditization, that Mary can offer this service for less money than I offer it, that this person isn't investing in training the way that I invest in training, so they can't deliver the same service at the same quality. This vision is the defense of our industry and the opportunity for our industry to grow. It's focused on giving people good, giving people exceptional, and once they've had that, then they can use that to transform the way that they work. So we need to talk not so much about what is the contrast ratio on the screen, or how bright is the projector, but we need to talk about, did it help us communicate our message? Did I, as a member of the board, formulate a better decision because of the technology that was in the room? And when we're having that conversation, we're part of the strategy of the organization. And once we're part of the strategy of the organization, we're no longer a commodity. That's the reason for that vision. That's what's important about this. Why take it on? I think I've covered that. I mean, I think we have to take it on in order to survive. That's where our value is. That's what we bring to solving our clients' problems. I love this picture because you've got the smartphone showing telepresence in the background. So, and using a free solution. So the challenge here we have is good enough, or does it need to be exceptional? And the key that we have and the standards that we're writing to focus in on things like the system verification standard are to help you define with your client what is exceptional, because every client or every employer will have a different definition of exceptional. What has worked for us for 75 years is that we focused on making it better for people to communicate. That won't change for the next 75 years. But a focus on product, a focus on the individual components won't take us to the next place, because components can be copied. Components can be commoditized, but solutions and knowledge will forever retain its value. I'm starting to run over in time, so I'm going to be a little bit more brief on some of this. The information, again, is in your downloads here. Really, I think I've covered most of this, in that what we see is this need for being able to connect people from around the world in virtual communications and enhancing that communications to solve complex problems. If we're not at the core of that, we won't be able to be successful. And I think that there's going to be significant changes in the value chain as we move through that. Different participants that are members of ours are going to find that their life and that their competitors and the market that they're working in is shifting, and they're going to have to be able to be agile and maintain themselves within that. As a part of this, the board has identified 6 key areas as the mechanisms by which we can drive this transformation and support the industry association. The first is thought leadership. We think that it's critical to be able to demonstrate as an association that we can help you be at the top of the knowledge chain, that we can help you communicate expertise, and in order to do that, we need to have that expertise. So as an association, we're going to continue to focus on and build our thought leadership and help us cement the leadership within the audiovisual industry. I mentioned the exceptional experiences. This is perhaps my most exciting and most terrifying part of the strategic plan, because in some ways what we're being driven here to do as an association is define beauty. What makes an experience exceptional? And we talked a lot about whether or not we should even try to do that. But the end decision, which I think was courageous, was that if not us, who? We need to be able to go out there and say, this is what makes something extraordinary, this is what makes something memorable, and provide that type of expectation or provide that type of experience and help people understand what makes those experiences exceptional. Workforce development. I think all of our members face an ongoing challenge of finding talented people, finding people that are interested in getting into the industry and helping them develop within the industry. And again, this is something that the association exists for. Globalization, spelled properly for our venue, is an emphasis on the fact that although InfoComm started in North America, the needs and the opportunities and the contributions that we can make are far broader than North America. This doesn't mean that we're neglecting North America or we're forgetting North America and we don't remember our commitment there and understand that we have a significant responsibility to that marketplace, but it acknowledges the need outside of the North American continent for an industry association, and the need is strong, and we are focused on that and having very exciting growth within that membership segment and continue to work towards developing that, and we'll have more details about that this afternoon. Community expansion engagement. The word I like most in this slide is the word community. Not so much the expansion, but the word community. We're not focused as an association on being the epicenter or being the owner of all things, but rather providing leadership to a community, if you remember from the vision statement, and helping to enhance that community. And that community is not necessarily those who are only traditionally in our association, but it's those who are working with technology to transform human communication. We all know the trends towards convergence and the weakening of the boundaries between what is a security system, what is a commercial AV system, what is a video conferencing system, and understanding that all of these different definitions are becoming less and less important, and there's communities involved in all of these technologies that we want to engage with and grow with in order to help the industry. And we want to make sure that our brand is recognized. This is another area that if your client doesn't know what InfoComm is, doesn't know what CTS is, they may not know the value of that. They may not understand the differentiation. And we want to help you use the tools that we put together. We want to help you with their recognition of InfoComm as a global organization, publishing standards, developing education, supporting certification. I think that covers what I'm going to talk to. I'm going to turn it over to Terry to talk to you in more detail about some of the efforts that we have going on internationally. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. As Dave talked about our globalization efforts, part of what an association does is to distribute things that are globally impactful, certification, standards, these things are ubiquitous around the world. But the other side of what an association does is help its members deal with what's going on in their backyard. So one of the things we wanted to do, and when we started looking at what we were going to do last year, 2013, was we wanted to create a way to make that happen. And here in Europe, we added 2 advisory groups, one in the UK and one in Germany. And these groups were challenged to simply look at what was important for their market, whether it was European-wide, but specifically the UK and Germany, and how the association could better help that grow in the future. They recommend activities for us to give us guidance and help us programmatically look at what we're doing in those areas. But we're also establishing in 2014 an advisory group in Italy for the very same purpose. So while we want to be global, and we certainly are, we also want to have the ability and the capability to act locally, and that's very, very important to us. These groups, as they identify their needs, they were really looking at educational opportunities, and one of the things the German group obviously said to us was, you know, we lack a lot of the curriculum in German language. So we're very excited this year, in 2014, we're going to be translating 4 of our most fundamental online courses into German. And this includes our networking course as well. So that's very, very important to us. Also outreach. who are we talking to? As we talk about certification standards, who knows about that besides ourselves? It's great that we know it, but it's very, very important that our customers know it as well. So 2014, we're bringing more educational offerings thanks to sponsorship through AMX, who is offering up their training facilities for us around Europe. We're going to be coming to 9 cities with our network AV systems course. This is a terrific course that allows the AV professional to better understand the networking environment that they're working in on a regular basis. We look forward to expanding this with other partners through manufacturers and distributors to bring more of our education globally that we offer ourselves, certainly, but through this sort of support, we can offer it at a better price point, and we can offer it more frequently throughout Europe. We're also bringing the full design school back to the UK. We haven't done that as a classroom course in the UK for about 4 years. We're very excited that all 3 levels of that will be taught. First 2 levels in April and then following up in October timeframe. As I mentioned, the online German translation of our 4 core online products and the networking technology online is also going to be part of that translation package. When you think about taking these curriculums, and these are multiple course curriculums, and translating them, it's a very large effort. And certainly there's the raw language side, but there's also the scrutiny by our subject matter experts in language to make sure that the translations that we will get are not just rudimentary translations, but speak to how people deal with the technologies in their local language. So it's a very large effort. We're actually not just doing German, we're also doing Spanish and Portuguese for Latin America. We're also doing Hindi for India. So we're really investing this year in translations of our courses for our worldwide market. And finally, on the outreach side, Dave mentioned we really want to work collaboratively with like-minded organizations who have similar needs and goals. And we're very pleased that we announced just the first of the year our relationship with the Standing Conference for Heads of Media Services, or I'll just say SCOMS. Okay, it's a wonderful UK group. They represent about 85, 90 universities and the technology managers who keep all of the audiovisual assets within that organization up and functioning so they can teach at the highest level with the technology that's been deployed. What's exciting for us is that all of those SCOMS members are now also members of InfoComm. This brings a great number of technology managers into our group. It allows the SCOMS members to have access to our free online training as members and to discounted services also. So we feel that we are really taking a look through the activities of our local advisory groups to try to meet the needs on a local level as we keep working on the globalization of the association. Thank you, and I think now I turn it over to Tati.
So Dave mentioned in his talk about how important market research is to a lot of the activities that we do within InfoComm, both for the association as we make decisions, but also then in support of the industry. And back in 2006, InfoComm did its first worldwide study where we looked at the size of the AV industry around the world. And since then, every 2 years, we adjust that study a little bit and add some things to it. And in support of where we want to go as an association and in support of a lot of the activities that Terry and his team are doing, we're expanding the market definition and strategy study in 2014. It's in the field now, and we are adding some new pieces to it. We've always done regional reports. So there's a global report, and there's a report about North America and Europe and Latin America and so on. But this one is a little different because we are now adding some in-country reports. So we're going to focus very specifically on the countries you see listed there and give the details in those countries of where the marketplace is, what the trends are, what's happening in the marketplace, how big is the German marketplace, what does it look like from a Pro AV standard. So those are the reports that we're adding this year to the MDSS, is what we call it. I will tell you that the full worldwide study will be available in June at InfoComm along with the regional reports, and then we'll be releasing the in-country reports throughout the year as they tie to particular shows or other events that are going on around the world. We'll release 2 of those country reports right around June, and the rest will be spread out after that. So that's what we're looking at on the market side of things and how we do that. One of the other areas we're expanding our market research is in a report that we have done for many years in the U.S. called the Compensation and Benefits Report. And in that particular report, we've gone in and looked at how people are getting paid in the industry, what are the trends in salaries and compensation and how they're being compensated. We have unfortunately never looked at any place but the U.S. So this year we are adding the countries you see on that slide, and we will be doing individual compensation and benefit studies for each one of those countries, so that in those countries they can begin to look at the marketplace, which we'll give them in one side, and then they begin to look at the workforce on the other side and start to be able to put the puzzle together on where we're at in the country, of where the marketplace is going, and how are we compensating our people, and what do we need to be doing moving forward to support that. So those are my two pieces that I wanted to talk about. I think I went under my time, so Alan, I believe you're up next.
We'll buy you dinner.
I like the moving down of the chairs.
That way we don't get lost.
Yes. And then the water moves with it.
That's yours.
That's mine. Thank you.
I am Alan Wyben. I'm InfoComm Sustainability Officer. The most important part about those comments is not me or my name, but that InfoComm has a sustainability officer. I can tell you in my 35 years of association experience, I stand before you as an exception. Some 20,000 associations globally, there may be 5 that have sustainability as a concern, as an interest, as a thought leadership. That's a reflection of InfoComm's board, our management, our members, our exhibitors, and our delegates who come to this show, who want us to do more with less, who want to do it better. And so part of the process, and certainly to carry the message that AV is a sustainability enabler. Telepresence, unified communications, digital signage, we have the ability as the AV industry to efficiently and sustainably communicate. And so 2 messages. We need to do better sustainably, but also our technologies, our techniques, and our participants can help you do that. Part of that package then is that InfoComm events must be more sustainable. Keeping in mind that sustainability is good for business, but only if business is part of the process. So we need to engage our exhibitors, our delegates, to find what works for them sustainably. Sustainability is also very situational. What is good for ISE and works in Amsterdam may not be what works in Mumbai. So we have to be very conscious and work with our local communities to make sure that what we do meets their cultural needs and meets their attendees' needs. We also will engage our event hosts in these areas to work with us to help them become more sustainable as well. We are in the process of developing exhibitor best practices. We're going to do a Prezi, put that online for exhibitors to use at their leisure so that they can learn about how to be better exhibitors. We are making the commitment to assess, to track, and report our sustainability performance goals at our shows. And keep in mind that sustainability is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not about being 100%. It's about going from 70 to 72. And next year going from 72 to 80. And so in the reporting process, we will talk to you and show you how we are improving on that journey to sustainability. But most importantly, sustainable events occur in sustainable venues. There's only so much we can do, but working with our partners in these venues, we can do much more. And I'm happy to report from our experience that the RAI is probably one of the most, if not the most, sustainable venue in the world. And so we're fortunate to work with them in partnership to bring you what I think is the most sustainable show in the world in this area. And with that, I'd like to introduce Babs, come up and tell us about some of the activities that they are doing.
Wow, never had such an introduction. Yes, well, just to go back a few years, Amsterdam RAI has honestly always taken into the environment and our close environment into consideration. As you are here, you see we have a lot of neighbors. We're in an urban neighborhood, and they do notice when there is an event at the RAI with all the traffic and everything. So we have always taken that into consideration. But in 2008, we decided that we wanted to put that into a real official policy. So we set up a program defining goals such as energy, waste, and put it into a sustainability program whereby we defined that we wanted to become one of the most sustainable venues in Europe, which I think after 5 years now that we are here in 2013, we have achieved. One of the most recent certifications we have received is the EarthCheck Gold, which is a certification about sustainability, but more about the process we're going through and the continuous improvements that we're making regarding our sustainability goals. And we are actually the first convention center in Europe that has achieved the EarthCheck Gold, and the second convention center in the world. Interesting with this certification is that it goes, you cannot become gold straight away. You have to go through a process. So you are first a bronze, then you are silver, and then you are gold. So it really talks about the continuous process in improving. And as we say, as I agree with Alan, it's not an end destination, it's a journey that we take. Also one of the new things is that, I don't know if anybody will be up in the Elysium of one of the meeting rooms, is that if you look over Hall 8, we have installed 1,500 solar panels, which we are now able to have some solar energy that we can take from the roof. Not needless to say, we are still using 98% renewable energy to heat and light this building. And finally, I would like to say that one of at least as a sustainability ambassador in the RAI, what we have really made achievements with is our waste program. We have to realize our industry and Amsterdam RAI has over 3,000 tons of waste each year. So it's very important to us that we try to be efficient with that, most efficient with that as possible. We have been able to separate waste, 50% of our waste over the past 5 years, and with the separation of that waste, the general waste, we have been able to recycle 98%, which is 99%, sorry, which is very high. But we want to go further in separating our waste, and there we cannot do without organizers and visitors. In the end, it's a partnership, and we're very proud to test some new logistics behind the scenes to increase waste separation with ISE. And we're very happy that ISE has taken this step and that InfoComm has taken this step to become more sustainable, because we cannot do it without the organizers in-house, and we can't do it without the delegates and visitors. So I think it's very important that we're taking this step, and they can improve their sustainability program by being here, and we can improve ours by having them here. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is John Fuchs. I'm proud to be responsible for the InfoComm IQ program. As you heard from the previous presenters, InfoComm has a very specific set of goals. We want to ideally be a live participant in the transformation of human communications. And as you attend this show and you attend the other 11 events that we post and host around the world, it's all about technology. We have a lot of technology that needs to be sorted through, sorted out, and selected appropriately for the appropriate application. And IQ has focused on that as a goal. So if you're AV product research and the whole process of pulling together the components are troublesome or problematic or challenging, IQ is about trying to help that. We're a multifaceted initiative that delivers a web-based marketing and business development solution that helps expose the InfoComm brand more significantly to the world, and attracts, on average, about 75,000 people on a monthly basis, and they get experience with InfoComm from the virtual side. We're a cloud-based product research and project development toolkit. So we have, as you'll see on the next slide, hundreds of thousands of products with very deep parameter structure, and it allows people to find that right product that is going to help them deliver that exceptional experience. And we also now, new for 2014, I'll talk about that in a moment, are delivering data services. And I could do without that, couldn't I? So we are a central database, as I said. We have nearly 600,000 unique SKUs that are distributed across 5 markets. We have those 500,000 or 600,000 SKUs categorized against 500 unique categories and 150 different searchable parameters, dimensional, weight, and so forth and so on, to be able to help people find that right product for that opportunity. And we also have the ability in some new development to deliver discreetly not only product information, but pricing and value add messaging. So often today the world focuses on price only, and we needed to couple the value components of that with it. And new for 14, we've created an additional market. So now we have a UK market. Previously we had a greater Europe market, but the products that are sold in UK are not always those sold in the greater UK market, the greater European market, so we've broken that out. We've just finished and delivered now the project cost estimator. So such as the guidelines for salary and some of the other studies that we do, we help through the project cost estimator, help people to understand what the cost of delivering a quality solution should be, and give them the guidelines that virtually every other industry has had before us. And lastly, our new services for 2014, because every dealer, every reseller, every distributor makes serious investment every day in receiving the information from the various manufacturers and bringing it and consolidating it into a central environment within their organization so that they can use it to produce the proposals and produce purchase orders and invoices and so forth. And there are hundreds of millions of dollars in manpower that are spent in that formatting on a one-off basis. The IQ program will bring all of the data from all of the sources together, put it in one format, and then deliver it to the people who need it already pre-formatted and pre-confined. And we serve three different user types in order to make sure that we're delivering the information the manufacturing and the distribution community wants to the right audience. There is the unregistered user who simply can find us through hundreds of websites or through the search engines, and is able to do product research and evaluation. A registered user picks up a high level of communications that they can customize for themselves, as well as advanced search and project list tools. And then a registered staff, as we deliver these resources now to universities, to the corporate America, to the government, and other user communities, they can bring their staff in there and have them have access to the project cost estimator and pricing as may be provided by the distribution and manufacturing community. So if you'd like more information, I did bring a couple of paper things. Shame on me, because we should all be on the web, and it is. But if you'd like to stop at the stand, we'd be happy to tell you more.
Thank you, John. Also, a lot of publications partner with AVIQ to offer catalogs on their website. So if that's something that you might be interested for your publication, or you want to talk to your publisher about it, please, you can get in touch with me or contact John directly. That being said, we presented a lot of information today, and so we're opening up for questions. So does anybody have any questions of any of the speakers here today?
I have a question.
Yes, Gary.
First of all, congratulations. Phenomenal show. Not only InfoComm last year, but ISE this year. And I know that this is a collaboration between CEDIA and you guys, but phenomenal job. Most exciting thing at InfoComm is Microsoft, in my opinion. I think Microsoft going to InfoComm is exciting. What are you doing as far as other network-oriented companies? Like, we have Cisco there, but we don't have the networking group of Cisco there. What about other IT-oriented companies? Is there an active effort to recruit them since our industry is moving towards the network very rapidly?
Absolutely. There's an active network to attract those who we think would benefit from being participants within the industry and taking advantage of the gathering of 35 to 40 to 45,000 people to be able to present the solutions that they have available to them. At the end of the day, those who exhibited the show is a decision that's made by those who exhibited the show. So there's 100,000 companies that I think should be exhibiting at our shows that aren't. You know, the challenge that we have in the organization that we've built with regards to expositions, both internationally and domestically within the U.S., is focused on communicating the value message. I I think that that's a message that all of you in this room can reinforce. It's a message that you can make an active part of the conversation within the industry. And as the need from the attendees for the information is more clearly evident to those exhibitors, they will come. I think that's just a reality of commerce, that if they have interested people in the show, then they will be there to be able to fulfill that interest.
Are there any other questions, or do you want to follow up? I'm not seeing any. I want to thank all of you for coming to ISE and for coming to this press event. You can, again, download the press kit off of infocom.org/ISE press kit or scan our QR code. I look forward to seeing many of you at the InfoComm show in Las Vegas. Come see me if you have any questions about that. I want to thank Babs for joining us today, and for the RAI for always taking a big leadership in sustainability. And I will be based either at the booth, or you could track me down through the press room if you have follow-up questions and can't reach me by phone. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your show.